I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Buy your cars in your personal name is one of the worst financial decisions that you can make. All right, maybe not the worst, but after today, you'll never want to do it again. In today's video, we're not only going to uncover how to get approved for cars in your business name, but also some of the best lenders you can go to for both good and bad credit. But first, you got to understand the perks of financing a car in your business name rather than your personal, because it's way more than just limiting your liability. See, the US tax code is actually completely different for business owners than it is for employees. See, as an employee, taxes are taken out of your income before it gets to you, and you're left to pay your bills with the leftovers. But as a business owner, you actually receive your full pay, then pay all your expenses, and you pay taxes on what's left. See, this is how business owners keep more money in their pockets, and it's how your company car can save you big on taxes. Every year, you can write off the depreciation of your vehicle, even though you don't actually spend that money, and it directly lowers your taxable income. You may have heard some people that talk about buying a vehicle that's like over 6,000 pounds. That way they can write off all or most of the amount of that vehicle within the first year of getting it. But did you know that you can actually write off the depreciation on any size vehicle? All you got to do is, actually, let me not get caught up. I'm not a CPA, so touch base with your tax professional for the specifics on this. Just make sure that you ask them about something called straight line depreciation. Now, this next benefit is why this is a literal cheat code. If you've ever gone and applied for a credit card, a mortgage, or even other cars, you know just how important having a clean credit report is. Now, one of the biggest deciding factors in credit approvals is something called your debt to income ratio. Now, this is a number where you take up all of your monthly expenses, right? Student loans, credit cards, mortgages, of course, car payments, and you divide that by how much income you have coming in. Now, the lower that number is, not only gives you better approval odds, but it also gives you access to more favorable terms, like lower interest rates and higher limits. Now, when you finance in your business name, that keeps that car note off of your personal credit report, which then keeps your debt to income ratio low and doesn't stop you from getting other credit products. Now, I've got good and bad news when it comes to the process of getting approved. Now, the good news is it's fairly simple to do. The bad news is probably already messed up before you even got started. I actually learned the hard way with my first business. See, I had plans of investing in real estate, so I named my business Prime Properties and Investments. Those old videos are actually still up on this channel. But what I ended up learning was that banks wouldn't even open up checking accounts for my business because they considered it high risk just based off the name. And right then and there, that was when I learned the importance of a properly structured LLC. See, with a proper structure, your business now becomes lendable in the eyes of banks and finance companies. So here's everything you'll need. First is going to be your business name. Now for this, you can keep it super general. I like to do something like ABC Company or ABC Group for my businesses. And if you want to have like your service in the actual name of the business, you can always do a DBA later. Next up is your corporate address. Look, I know it's tempting, but stop using your home address as your business address. Even if you're somebody like me who works from home, you can use companies like Regis and Opus to get something called a virtual address. Now, this is where they essentially let you use their commercial space for your business and you'll receive mail there. Now, the benefit here is that looks a lot more professional to the banks and to lenders than somebody who's just working their business out of their garage. And if you haven't started your business already, I would actually suggest getting this address first. That way you can actually put it on your business information documents from day one. And number 3 is a corporate phone number, which is completely separate from your cell phone. Usually it's going to be like either a 1-800 or a 188 number. I actually use a company called Grasshopper for this because they send the calls directly to my cell phone and it's only a couple bucks a month. Now look, nobody's just going to throw money at you without doing their due diligence. So you got to make sure that they can actually find you. And you do that by establishing your digital footprint. Now this consists of first and foremost having a website. A website, it doesn't have to be anything super special. It can really just be a landing page that has all of your business information on it. Attached to that website, you want to also have a email address, right? So you don't want to be using your personal email for this. You want to have something that's just like info@abccompany.com, a professional looking email address. And then you want to get all of those together and you want to actually make them findable, right? So you want to actually have your business listed in Google, Yahoo, Bing, 411, anywhere where somebody who's looking for your business would actually be able to find it. You want to make sure that you're listed in all of those places. Now, last but definitely not least, you're going to get 2 identification numbers for your business. The first one is going to be your EIN number, and that comes directly from the IRS. The second one is going to be your DMB or Dun and Bradstreet number. Now, once you've got all these components, you are well on your way. But that's just the start. Let's take a ride real quick and address the elephant in the room. We've got to talk about credit. Now, I'm sure you've heard an internet guru talk about no PG this, no PG that, right? But at some point, your credit matters. So before we jump in how to get approved with or without a PG, let me give you some insight. If you have bad credit, usually adding more credit is not the answer. Instead of spending money to avoid the problem, I think it's best to actually invest in improving your personal credit report. Because even if that takes months, that payoff is huge in the long run. So what makes a decent credit report? Well, number one, it should have no negative items. That means no delinquencies, no late payments, no charge-offs, none of that. Number two is your average age should be at least 4 to 5 years old. And number three, your utilization should be under 30%. Now, the rule of thumb here is that under 30% is not hurting you. But if you want this to actually be helping build your credit report, you want to keep your utilization under 10%. Once you hit these data points, that should get your credit score at a 680 or above. All right, now that we got that out the way, let's jump into your options. Now, usually EIN-only financing was only reserved for businesses that are so established that they can actually stand on their own without their owner having to have their credit checked. This usually comes after you've been in business for like 1 to 3 years and you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue to show. But it is actually possible to meet all the data points of an established business way before that. And you do this by establishing your business credit profile. Just like how our personal credit has Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, there's multiple business credit bureaus that you'll want to actually build a score on. But the 2 that we're going to focus on for the purpose of auto loans is going to be Experian and DMB. Now, to actually go out and build these business credit profiles, what you need to do is leverage vendor accounts. Now, to get a score generated, you only need 4 or 5 accounts. But to actually show that your business is established, you want to get at least 7. And you don't just want to get those couple dollar net 30 accounts. You're going to want to have at least 1 4-figure vendor account reporting to your business credit profile. And the reason is because you want to have something called comparable credit. I mean, just put yourself in the bank's position for a second. Somebody's coming to you, they want to borrow like, let's say $15,000, but the most they've ever borrowed was $50 on a net 30 account, right? Would you trust them to actually take $15,000 from you? They want to see that you've actually had some sort of approval in the past for something comparable to what they are giving you. I'll link to all the vendors and data points that you need in the description below. Now, one thing every bank is going to ask you is, how are you going to pay us back? Now, they may not ask you that directly, but they are going to ask you questions like, how much do you or your business make annually, to get that answer. Now, if you're a brand new business, this may be hard to answer, but luckily there's a way around it. When I was first starting my car sharing business, I finally got the courage to talk to a dealership about getting my business approved, even though I was brand new. And they let me know that there was some lenders out there that would still approve me. But the secret to getting approved was actually using projected income. Now, all this is instead of using previous years of income to qualify, you use your actual business projections as your qualifying income. But this process is not applicable to every lender out there. The reason being is some lenders actually require you to submit financial documents like last year's tax returns and even bank statements. This is why I suggest only leveraging no-doc lenders if you're going this route. Now, no-doc simply just means that they're not going to ask for additional financials and they'll make their decision based off of the information on the application. So let's talk about some of my favorite no-doc lenders. Real quick, before we do that, if you've gotten some value so far, don't forget to drop a like on this video below and subscribe to the channel for more content to help you level up. All right, let's jump back into it. Now, this first bank is completely different from all the ones that I usually deal with because the only way to apply with them is actually at the dealership. Now, I like this bank though because they actually offer EIN-only financing and they offer personal guarantee financing. So no matter which way you want to go, they got you. Now, this bank is called Ally Financial, and you can simply call up a dealership and just ask them, hey, do you guys work with Ally Financial for your financing? And if they say yes, then you can go there and fill out the application on the spot for Ally. They're a great option. But this next option is certified platinum. I've actually personally seen 6-figure vehicle approvals from this lender, and their application process is 100% online. Now, this lender is called Bank of America, and their Business Advantage Auto Loan is one of the best programs in the country. What makes Bank of America's commercial auto loan so great is the fact that you can get approved for up to 4 vehicles in each of your entities, and you can apply for 4 vehicles in the same day, get 4 approvals, and only get 1 inquiry to your personal credit report. That's insane. Now, the only downside is that these approvals can only be used for cars in your business name. In this video, I'll show you an insane trick to get $50K in unrestricted business funding in just 1 day. Let's go.